Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. Apple just did something strange. They quietly removed the M for Mac Mini announcement video from their official YouTube channel. The odd part is that the M for iMac and M for MacBook Pro videos are still online. That has sparked questions. Could Apple be preparing to replace the M for Mac Mini with an M5 version this October? If that happens, it would be one of the fastest updates we have ever seen for a Mac Mini. The Mac Mini has always been Apple's sleeper hit. It doesn't have the flash of the iPhone, the aspirational image of the MacBook Pro, or the iconic look of the iMac. Yet, it has quietly been one of Apple's most flexible Macs for years. It's small, affordable, and powerful enough to handle everything from daily computing to heavier workloads if you choose the right specs. That balance of value and performance has made it a favorite for many people who want a desktop that just works. Now, all signs point to the next chapter with the M5 Mac Mini. Apple insider Marko Zivic recently reported that he found a device identifier that appears to belong to an M5 Mac Mini. Even more interesting, he also discovered another identifier for a Mac Mini running the M5 Pro chip. If this is accurate, Apple is preparing two models once again, just as they did with the M4 and M for Pro versions. On the surface that seems obvious, but with Apple, nothing is guaranteed. We've seen Apple skip entire chip generations before. The Mac Mini never got the M3 or the M3 Pro. It went straight from the M2 Pro to the redesigned M4. That's why these identifiers matter. They show Apple is keeping the Mac Mini aligned with the rest of the Mac lineup and not leaving it behind. But let's be clear. If you're hoping for dramatic performance jumps, you might need to adjust your expectations. Reports suggest the M5 will be built on TSMC's new M3P process. That's a more advanced version of the one used for the M4. In plain words, this means better efficiency and a slight performance boost, but nothing revolutionary. Based on previous chip upgrades, the gains will likely fall in the 15 to 25% range. That's nice to have, but it's not going to transform the way most people use their Mac day to day. So is the M5 Mac Mini worth it? The answer depends on what you do with your machine. For people who need raw performance, like professionals working with 3D rendering, complex simulations, or high-resolution video editing, every percentage gain matters. In those cases, the M5 is worth looking at. But for most everyday tasks like web browsing, office work, coding, or even light creative projects, the difference between the M4 and M5 won't be life-changing. That's why the most exciting part about the M5 may not be the chip itself, but the effect it has on the M4's price. When the M for Mac Mini launched in October 2024, the base version came with 16 GB of memory and 256 GB of storage for $599. That was already a strong price by Apple standards. Now, we are starting to see discounts. In the United States, prices have dropped to $499, and with the M5 coming, the M4 will likely fall even further. This is great news for buyers. The M4 is not outdated or underpowered. It was one of the best value Macs Apple has ever released. It introduced a new design, the first major change since 2010. The chassis became smaller and sleeker, while the Pro models added front-facing USB-C ports and Thunderbolt 5. The M4 is already powerful enough for most people. With lower prices on the horizon, it's going to be an even smarter buy. If you want the best deal, the M4 will soon hit a sweet spot. Unless you absolutely need the extra speed of the M5, the M4 will give you about 90% of the experience for a lot less money. For budget-conscious buyers, that's a win. Still, the M5 Mac Mini will attract a certain audience. Professionals who want the highest performance without moving up to a Mac Studio will likely pick the M5 Pro version. That model could bring workstation-level power in a tiny, silent desktop that fits anywhere. But that's a smaller market compared to the everyday buyers who just want value. For them, the M4 remains the smarter choice once prices fall. Apple doesn't usually cut official prices on older Macs after new models come out. But retailers almost always do, and we're already seeing it. The closer we get to the M5 launch, likely in early 2026, the better the deals on the M4 will become. And don't forget Apple's refurbished store, which will almost certainly fill up with discounted M4 models once the M5 hits the market. It's also worth remembering that Apple redesigned the Mac Mini in 2024 after 14 years without changes. They made it smaller, more modern, and added the ports that people had been asking for. Because of that, the M5 is not expected to change on the outside. The design is still fresh and one of the best-looking desktops Apple makes. The only changes will be inside with the new chip. That means the story of the M5 Mac Mini is about incremental improvements, not a dramatic reinvention. And that's fine. Not every generation needs to start from scratch. Small refinements add up, and what matters most is that Apple is keeping the Mac Mini alive and updated. During the Intel years, the Mini often felt ignored. The M-series era has changed that, and the M5 is proof. The M5 won't stop at the Mac Mini. It's part of a broader rollout. The iPad Pro is also expected to adopt the M5. After moving to OLED and a thinner body in 2024, this year's iPad Pro update will be smaller. Reports say M5-powered iPad Pros are already in production and could arrive by late 2025. That lines up with Apple's usual update cycle. Beyond the chip, the only rumored feature is 2 front cameras, one for portrait and one for landscape, though it's unclear how useful that would be. The MacBook Pro is another big target. Apple is expected to update the 14-inch and 16-inch models with M5, M5 Pro, and M5 Max chips early next year. But if you're considering one, it may be better to wait. Rumors suggest the MacBook Pro will get its first major redesign since 2021, but not until late next year. That update could bring OLED displays and, by then, the M6 chips. Unless you urgently need a MacBook Pro, waiting could get you both a new design and a bigger performance boost. The iMac is also on Apple's roadmap. Reports point to a new identifier for an M5 iMac, which could launch alongside the Mac Mini and MacBook Pro in early 2026. Since the iMac was recently redesigned, don't expect big visual changes. Like the Mini, the updates will mostly be about the internals. Coming back to the Mac Mini, here's the bottom line. If you absolutely need the latest performance, the M5 will be your choice. You'll get more speed, better efficiency, and longer software support. But if you care more about value, the M4 will soon be one of the best deals Apple has ever offered. With discounts already appearing and prices dropping, the M4 will remain powerful and affordable for years to come. So, to wrap this up, the M5 Mac Mini is coming in 2 versions, with M5 and M5 Pro chips. Performance gains will likely be modest, somewhere between 15 and 25%. No design changes are expected since Apple just refreshed the Mini in 2024. The biggest impact of the M5 may actually be the price drops on the M4, which is already an excellent machine. My advice is simple. Don't buy the M5 unless you truly need the extra power. Otherwise, wait for M4 discounts because that's where the real value lies. Thanks for watching. Would you pay extra for the M5 or would you save money on the M4 once prices drop? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the M5 Max, the iPhone 17 series, and everything else Apple is planning for the future. For more videos, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you never miss the latest updates.